Welcome everybody to today's class. Today we're doing a lesson on Spinoza. So if you're looking for English classes or vocabulary or grammar, I'm sorry, we're going to be doing Spinoza today, and we're taking this book, Ethics. Another version of this book is The Ethics of Spinoza. This one's actually translated by a guy called Runes, Dagobert Runes. And if anybody's interested in reading this book, I do recommend using this book first. It's been edited in certain ways that make it a lot more readable. Remember that Spinoza uses something that he calls the geometric method. Now, what he means is he's using a very similar method to Euclid in the way that he sets out his arguments. There are a lot of propositions and corollaries and proofs. And so he's trying to use the same method as Euclid, and that means that the original is rather hard to read, but it becomes much easier to read if you've read it like this first. So I do recommend this book, the Runes version of The Ethics of Spinoza. It does capture the spirit of Spinoza, and I think it's perhaps a better book to start with. I certainly tried that and didn't really enjoy it, then tried this, and then tried that, and I did enjoy it. But it's a good introduction. So this is just going to focus on chapter 3 of Spinoza's book, Ethics. And he calls chapter 3 the origin and nature of the emotions. So he's going to discuss the emotions in great detail, and he certainly does. And he discusses love, hate, hope, fear, pity, envy, pride, ambition, and many more. And for each one of these, he's certainly using a very geometric method. And what I mean is, he tries to explain all these different emotions and all the different emotions that people can have in terms of 3 primary emotions. And these emotions, these primary emotions, are desire, pleasure, and pain. And I think he's, again, very persuasive man, and he manages to give a good case, or a very good description, really quite a brilliant description of all the different human emotions in terms of those 3 primary emotions. So this is a very psychological chapter. It really is dealing with human psychology and what Spinoza thinks about human psychology. And it really is a rather amazing analysis at very early, it was written in the 17th century. And so this was a long time ago, but really quite a brilliant analysis of human emotion. Now, remember that for Spinoza, one of his main criticisms of the way that people understand man is that he believes many people put man outside of nature, as if man was something special, something different from everything else, as if man were a kingdom within a kingdom, he describes it. And he doesn't think that man is a kingdom within a kingdom. He thinks that man is a part of nature. He's not external to nature. And this is precisely why he uses the geometric method. Bodies can be described geometrically, and so man ought to be described geometrically, because he's part of the same thing. He's subject to the same laws that the rest of nature is subject to. And so this is very important for Spinoza. Man is not something outside of nature, he's something very much within nature, part of nature, and he is subject to exactly the same laws. And in this sense, mankind is not free. And he's certainly rather harsh on the idea of free will. He thinks that perhaps this is quite a simple idea, and it's certainly not the case, because mankind is in nature, and just like everything else in nature is unfree, mankind is also unfree to a certain extent. But notice that the subtitle of this book is The Road to Inner